Welcome to a pod practice series where we will be previewing the 2023 Club Nationals by interviewing a player from each of the top four teams in the division and getting their thoughts and their mindsets going into the tournament. I hope you enjoy.
This episode is brought to you by Kiko Socks. With a pair of Kikos, you'll have an experience that keeps you focused on your performance and not your feet. Use our coupon code POD15 for 15% off your order at kikosocks.com.
I hope you guys enjoyed the pod. Be sure to follow us on Instagram or YouTube at podpractice_pod. Email us at show@podpracticepod or listen on Spotify at podpractice. Ready, steady.
All right. Next up, we have Lindsay Sue, former Club Player of the Year, 2021. And Lindsay, I know you're coming off an injury. So first off, how does it feel being back on the field in 2023?
It feels really incredible. I had a little bit of a longer recovery time than most people with ACL tears had coming back in. So definitely it was like a tough recovery. But now that things are feeling back to normal, I'm finally starting to really feel like myself on the field again.
Perfect timing.
And yeah, it feels, I forgot, like, it made me realize how much I really love playing, to actually get to come back and play again.
Yeah, I think Kins can relate to that one a little bit.
He's a verbal relation.
Yeah. Well, going right into things, how is Phoenix feeling heading into nationals? And is there anything about this year that might feel differently than others?
I mean, we're feeling great. Like, this is by far our best regular season that we've ever had in program history. So that is a big boon. And it's something that we've had to, like, we won Pro Champs, which was amazing. And we had to be excited about that and really feel that and, like, let it give us confidence and also not rest on our laurels and continue to push. And that's something we're going to have to carry into the first part of the tournament for sure. Just, like, making sure that we, like, really come, like, ready to play and, like, ready to totally bring it.
Is Phoenix the only team that has any wins over Scandal this year? Is that right?
Yes.
Yes.
Which is exciting. Woo.
Yeah. How about personal mindset? Obviously, it feels like you're coming into form personally. How are you feeling going in?
Yeah, I'm excited. I actually, unfortunately, was kind of out for a couple weeks because due to some friendly fire at practice, I got mildly concussed.
No.
I was a little bit worried for a little bit. I didn't play at regionals, and I wasn't sure what was going to look like coming into nationals. But I'm feeling pretty good now, so I'm just trying to, like, ride that, and I'm gonna be taking it, kind of day by day, checking in with myself, make sure that I'm good to go. But the great thing is that we have a lot of great players, and so I don't, like, have to feel the pressure to be, like, the only one to, like, it's not on me whether we, like, how we do or not. So I'm excited that I'm feeling better, ready to get into it, and excited that we've got a whole team of players who are awesome and who can take us far.
Yeah.
Nice. What games are you most looking forward to, whether it be a pool play game, maybe a game later in the bracket? What games have been getting the most attention in your mind leading up?
Flip side for sure. So we, like, this is the highest that Phoenix has ever been seeded going into nationals, and of course this is the year that we do the random draw, and so we don't get the whole seeding benefit. But
Lizzie said the same thing from Scandal, actually.
Oh my gosh, yeah, they really got the short end of the stick there. But I'm really excited. We haven't played flip side at all. We haven't even, like, I don't know if we played any West Coast teams this year yet. Somehow that's just, like, how it turned out. So, there's good and bad to that, like, going into a big tournament. we played Flipside last year in the finals. And we ended up winning on Universe, which was awesome. And they're a little bit of a different team now. We're a little bit of a different team. So I feel confident going into that game, but it'll be kind of exciting to play a team that's like pretty different than the other teams that we've played so far. And then, of course, if everything goes the way it's supposed to, then we'll have a rematch with Fury in the semifinals. So definitely would be excited about that to get back on the field for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. That's exciting.
Sticking with the matchups, things you've been thinking about. So any players that you specifically like to match up with, or any players that you think are going to have big tournaments from your team or from other teams?
Oh yeah. Let's see. It's hard to like project too far into those matchups because obviously it's a tournament, so like lots of different things can happen. I haven't really had the chance to play against Kayla Helton in a while on going back to Flipside. And she's obviously an incredible player and
has been for a really long time.
And enjoy like getting the chance to like challenge. I would love to get the chance to challenge myself to get to like match up with her either offensively or defensively. Yeah. And on my team, like the people that are going to pop off, I don't know, like I'll try not to list the whole roster. People that have been doing super well this year, Erica Birdsong has been like an absolute beast on the field, and she's really improved like so much over like her first 2 seasons of college, and like we tried to recruit her at first and we didn't get her because she was in Atlanta and was playing with Ozone, but then she moved back to North Carolina like earlier than she thought, and she joined, and like it's been an amazing pickup, and like we love playing with her.
She was a menace at Worlds, like destroying people. Yeah, it was sick.
It was amazing. And then also like at the more youth levels and also at PUL Championship weekend, she was just like taking on incredible matchups and really owning them. Dawn Colton, obviously, like should have talked about forever, but she's just like somehow keeps getting better, and
some machine.
Yeah. And funny enough, I played with her for several years now, but we've never been on the same line before, or maybe a couple times, but not like consistently. And now we're in like the same pod this year, which has been awesome, and it's amazing to get to play with her. And yeah, I don't know. We I'll stop there because I don't want to like leave anybody else.
You have a lot of good players.
There's a lot of great players.
Yeah.
I'll quickly say I love watching Alex Barnett play.
She would have been the next one that I would have said,
tremendous,
honestly.
like field control and quarterback. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of UNC kids have.
Seriously.
Have done a lot of stuff. But we have. I will say it's been a lot of UNC kids primarily in the past couple of years, but we have a lot of state players as well who are have joined the team and are kind of like popping off. Like Sarah McKee is a rookie this year, and she's a cutter. She's just a totally like lockdown defender. It's awesome.
So aside from winning, what are some of your team goals as Phoenix, and what would a successful weekend look like to you if it wasn't if it didn't include winning a championship?
I mean, it's kind of cheesy or like cliche, but we always want to play the way that we want to play, and like if we're able to, we've shifted our offense a little bit this year, and if we're hitting those marks, if we're like running our dump sets properly, if we're running our systems properly, like we'll be happy with that. But I don't think any of us will be satisfied unless we get some good wins under our belt. Like that's just the way it is. Like it was definitely a disappointment last year when we missed the semis after like having previously had a really successful season. And I think that we're really gunning for it this year. And our win at Pro Champs was like, we all knew that we could be great, but like that kind of like unlocked this like fire.
You can do it now.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there's lots of ways to have a successful tournament. Like we want to have fun, we want to make some great plays, but we really want to win.
Yeah.
I like that answer. You don't get that out of Ultimate players a lot. Recently, you get a lot of like, we want to bond and we want to have a good time, and those are all
Kids doesn't
great
care
too.
about that.
I do care.
I know
care
you do.
about
I know you
those
do. I'm just giving you
greatly,
shit.
but I also care deeply about competing and proving what you have and what you put so much hard work in. And so I like people that acknowledge it and are authentic about it. So. Okay, and then my question is, like you said, it's a tournament. Crazy things always happen. Do you have any predictions as to like if you had to pick one thing? Normally that first Thursday during pool play, there's so many games that happen, and you're walking. I love like walking around the fields, and you hear they lost to who, or like who is like they're 0-2 already. Like I love those kind of things that are happening. Do you have anything you want to throw out there that could be your wild prediction
Are we
for the
asking you to
week?
stir the pot a
Oh
little?
my gosh, yeah.
It doesn't even have to be a stir the pot. Something. There's always one. There's always one.
So I went on Deep Look in the beginning of the year and for like a bold predictions thing, and I kind of made an ass of myself on a couple of them, and one of them was that Rhino would miss quarters. And I said this before we found out that Dylan was moving back there. But if Rhino misses quarters, if Rhino goes over on day one, then at least that will come true for me. No shade to Rhino. I like
no shade. No shade.
No shade, but they didn't have a great regular season. So
that's
no
the
shade.
Thing about
no shade
about them is like they could win the pool and they could lose every game.
Yeah,
and like neither would be like super surprising to me actually.
Yeah. I guess another one that would be fun for me as a North Carolina person is to see Ring upset Truck in pool play. That would be very cool. Boo Ring.
Ring.
And I guess we've got the 1-5 matchup for Scandal and Brute. We already referenced that earlier, but I think it would be really cool because I used to play on Scandal and I have a lot of love for a lot of those players. And if they lost in pool play, but then went back and ended up going really far in the tournament, y'all maybe would be familiar with that as well.
That sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah.
Rings a few bells. Sure.
But that would definitely bring the drama. I'm not saying I want that to happen or anything, but that would be a kind of exciting thing.
Totally. I mean, I think I was talking about this with Mikey and Quinn the other day, but it's like that first game with for example, our first game is against Truck, and they're the number 1 overall seed. And it's such a tone setter for the weekend because it's like, okay, are they going to be the number 1 overall seed in this first game, or can you completely, redefine how people are looking at the teams? And so it's so exciting. I love that Thursday morning drama that happens. I mean, the amount of games and things that can happen, it's so exciting.
Yeah, there's so many games. There's just so many games that it's something is bound to happen. That's crazy, and it's hard to keep up. But
it's awesome. That's so good.
I'm also realizing that we need to have more Ulti-World folks on because you're the first person that mentioned something outside of their own division, and it didn't even occur to me that that's something people could do.
I know. Just more well versed in what's going on.
Yeah, Ultimate is my entire life, for better and for worse. So I'm pretty familiar with a lot of the stuff. That's
I think we can relate to that as well.
Kind of sticking with that Ulti-World thing. So I was a journalism major in college, so this is kind of closer to my heart. Of course, I didn't go to journalism because it was impossible to get a job. But I'm just curious what it's like working for Ulti-World while also being a player. What's the vibe there?
Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes I have to bite my tongue in meetings. Try not to let my homerism come out too much, but it's been wonderful because they're obviously very understanding of the fact that I play and that I'm really lucky to play at a high level, and so they can work around my schedule of getting to play. I fortunately get nationals off, even though it's a big weekend for Ulti-World. My job specifically, I do a lot of post-produced video editing, and so I can help a lot before the tournaments. So I make assets for broadcast. Most of at least on Thursday, most of the stuff that you'll see that's comes up on screen that's not gameplay is something that I edited.
That's awesome.
Not all of it.
At the
but some.
tournament, you're actively doing this? No, I'm sure not, but
No, I'm doing it beforehand.
She's on the sidelines.
yeah.
Yeah, like in between points, like trying to get the cuts in. No, and you know, it like shifts obviously. So like but because I play a lot, I do work more during the college season since I am no longer
That
eligible for
makes
college.
sense.
So it's a balance for sure. And you know, sometimes it gets a little overwhelming of like, yeah, Ultimate is all I've thought about for like 3 straight weeks, and you know, you need a little bit of a break. But overall, it's been a really great experience.
Nice. Yeah.
Do you ever venture into the disc golf realm at all?
Oh God.
I'm just wondering.
I used to have to edit the disc golf Ulti World podcast, and I just like begged and begged and begged until somebody else took it off my plate because it was just like, it's not for me.
This is a short venture into that realm.
Kins is a big disc golfer.
Yeah.
But Mike and I hate it.
I don't hate it. I like
I
it. I
hate
just
it.
I did I like playing disc golf. I'm like not amazing at it, which is part of why I don't follow it. But I did run a camera at disc golf like nationals 2 years ago, and it was like the catch camera, so it was the one near the basket, and I got hit by Eagle McMahon's drive.
Really?
Ow,
Eagle
that
from Boulder.
Fortunately, it hit the side of the camera, so it was deflected. But yeah, so those are my forays into disc golf.
Wow, yeah, that could kill you. Like
Kins has a good Eagle McMahon story.
Oh God, that is
nice.
Yeah, I don't know if we have time for it today.
You'll have to tell me after.
Yeah, we'll tell you later. By the way, Toner, I had dinner with Ian Toner, I don't know, a week or two ago, and he was mentioning that Ulti World has the ESPN. Am I saying this right? The ESPN rights this year, so it'll be produced by Ulti World, and this was also true for US Open, I think, which is why we're seeing some better camera angles.
Yeah, it's been a little bit complicated. It's not been consistent throughout the year, but at US Open, we did everything except for finals. So they had a different production company come in and do finals, just kind of like to ease us into it, I guess. And then we did everything at Pro Champs, and we're going to do everything at Nationals. So, which is cool. It's been a little bit stressful for people involved, just because there are different like graphics requirements and everything. So like we've had to like change a lot of like come up with new graphics and things, and like change our workflow just a little bit. And you know, when it's going on ESPN, there feels just like a little bit more pressure of you know, I was the replay operator at US Open, and so like just like there was a lot of yelling in the production booth, just like very high stress situations. But I think we've gotten used to it.
Yeah, and yeah, you'll continue to get better. I'm excited to have Ulti World producing that. I just think it's going to be a better product and
Me too.
good for the sport.
100%.
Glad to hear that. I'm excited too.
How about moving on to a little bit more levity, bringing a little bit more levity. What are Phoenix's team vibes like in terms of music? Do you have any favorite artist songs or even personal pump up stuff that you all like to listen to?
We have currently this playlist that has just happened to be basically like my college bangers playlist somehow. I don't know how I managed to make that happen because I don't run the playlist, but that's been really cool. So we got some like, you know, throwbacks and I don't know, Miley Cyrus and just like random pop songs from 2016. My current go-tos are Carly Rae Jepsen and Lil Nas X personally. So those are always, I try to slip those in as much as possible if I'm
Carly
Rae is, I mean, 2012 when Call Me Maybe came out, that did something to me. I don't know what, but it did.
It changed the whole world.
Yeah, really.
Dude.
Actually,
oh my God. So good. Awesome. And then now we're moving on to the finer things segment. It's presented by Kiko Socks. Experience a finer moment with a fresh pair of Kiko Socks. Lindsay, you want to kick us off?
I just want to say I love that y'all have this segment because I've been trying to be more mindful in the past couple of years, and I think this is a lovely thing to just like stop for a second and think about what little things, you know,
The little
that
things.
are able to
It's so
like,
true.
make you happy.
And we've been doing it so much now that like I'm going through my life looking for like tiny little things that are making
Yeah.
differences in my life, like constantly in my
That's
day
awesome.
now, and it's awesome. Yeah.
Cool. So my finer things are I'm a big like temperature person. So I really enjoy, especially as it's getting into like fall and starting to cool off a little bit. I love a hot beverage on a cool morning, especially if you can like sit outside and like enjoy your hot beverage. And on the flip side of that, you know, in the summer, ultimate season, having an ice cold beverage after a very
Heck yeah.
sweaty practice.
Oh yeah.
And like the steam coming off of your hot beverage in the morning and just like watching it, similar to like watching a fire.
Very
nice.
aesthetic, yes.
And you're on the porch in a rocking chair, and it's misty outside.
And you're basically like one of those lo-fi YouTube videos.
Yeah.
That like,
Oh
it's like
yeah,
a
that
loop.
is my jam. I love that.
That's so good. Mike, Keens, do you guys got one?
Yeah, I can go. Kind of the temperature one.
That's good.
Had me
Temperature, yeah.
thinking of, as it is getting cooler. You know, it's definitely slipper weather here in Colorado. I have not carpeted floors, so putting on a nice cozy pair of slippers. But actually, the temperature thing that I'm thinking of is now that when we're outside practicing, and obviously I'm not running like you guys are, but when I am working out and you can see the steam like coming off your head or out of your mouth, like because like when I'm just walking around at whatever my resting heart rate is, you can't see it, but after you've worked out and your core temperature is up and you can see it, it's like the satisfaction of knowing that you've done something and
You're grinding.
and it just looks cool too.
Yeah.
Mine is semi-national themes because a lot of us have flights coming up. So mine is when you get on an airplane for a flight and you are able to fall asleep for the whole flight, and you wake up when the plane is landing. Like maybe you hear that captain telling you you're descending, you got like a couple minutes, 30 minutes left, or even better, you just hit the tarmac and you wake up to the little jolt and you're like, I've done it. I've managed to miss the whole flight. That's my finer moment.
And the sultry tones of the pilot saying it's like 75 degrees and sunny in San Diego.
Yeah, except like if it's like a night one and they turn all the lights on and you're like, leave me alone. But yeah, that's mine.
All right, mine is using your phone, preferably an iPhone, without a case on it. Just kind of like just going at it without a case. Like it's just such a beautiful moment picking up your phone when it doesn't have a case obstructing the design and stuff. So
that's savage.
Yeah, I don't know. I have Apple Care, right? Like if I drop it, I'll just pay to get it fixed.
Yeah, I can relate to that a little bit. Awesome. Lindsay, thank you so much. And thanks for dealing with our little scheduling issues this afternoon, although it ended up working out okay.
Yeah, it's great.
It's great. Thanks for having me, y'all. It's great to be on.
Awesome. Safe travels, and hopefully we'll get to see you out there in San Diego.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. See y'all.
Nice to meet y'all. Thank you.
Yeah, you too.
Next up, we have John Randolph from the Pride of New York. John, how are you feeling going into nationals? You guys are a 1 seed, like the 2 seed overall in the tournament. How are you? How is the team feeling going into the tournament? How are you feeling?
I feel good. I feel like the team is pretty ready, at least as much as we can be ready. You're never sure of anything going into nationals, but I feel like we are peaking at the right time. I think we didn't have the pro champs we wanted to. Truck kind of kicked the shit out of us, and that was good for us, realizing we had some systematic issues and some problems, and we've been, in my opinion, on a steady upward trend since then. I think we played pretty well at regionals. I think we're in a good spot to play even better at nationals.
And you guys are in an interesting position because of all the like pickups that you had this year, I would say in a lot of people's books, you're the favorite to win the championship. How do you think? Does the team think about that? Do you guys like talk about that at all? Like, what's your thoughts on that going into the tournament? Like, do you enjoy that kind of pressure? Do you try to avoid it? Like, how does the team feel like about that?
It's nice to have that from the beginning of the season where because of the talent we have, we feel like we're always going to have a shot at a title. Like we could have like totally bombed out at all our tournaments this season and we'd still come into the postseason, kind of like we did 2 years ago when we lost in finals, still being like, hey, like we still have a shot. We're still a good team. The downside of that is, I think, in some people's minds, it's easy to think about winning and how it's possible so much that then it's like something you already kind of have in your mind, and it's like, what can we lose? When you should be thinking about like, what can we gain? Like, we have the possibility to do something great. So yeah, it's a little bit of both.
That's a good point. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I like that answer. That's really good. And as far as like games you're excited for, in pool play, or if there's a team that like you want to play in bracket or anything like that, but do you have any games circled for you guys, and maybe what you view as your biggest competition going into pool play?
It's nice that we get RDU in our pool. We get to avenge our loss from early in the season. Hopefully we can right the ship there. In terms of our biggest competition overall, Truck Stop, I think, has been sort of number one through the season, and would really love to take them down. And also, finally, if we got a chance to play Blueprint at some point, that would be a real
That would be sick. That'd be really sick.
Did you guys play them at all at regionals, or?
Nah.
I guess that's the only time you would ever see them, huh?
Yeah.
What was that Blueprint game to go like? I saw you guys were all on the sideline for it. What was that looked so sick. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, it was truly incredible. That's like one of the best, consistently favorite moments in my life, is like if I'm at a regionals or some, I guess just regionals, and if I qualify early enough to go watch some of the ends of games to go, and that's what happened. So we won finals. We ran over when it was like 10-10 or something, and the whole sideline was like totally exploding, totally insane.
Dude,
it was unreal.
That's so sick. It reminds me when these guys went to nationals with Lotus, it was like the same thing. Like we beat double wide, and like I just ran over there, like, and it was like right after half, I think I got over there, or it was half or something like that, and it was just like such a good experience.
Yeah.
Is this Blueprint's first year as a team?
No, they've been around.
No,
I don't know. I didn't.
Did you not?
No.
Denny had Blueprint shorts on last weekend at practice.
Oh, okay. No,
he didn't know whose they were or where he got them.
That's crazy. I feel like I'm pretty well versed in club teams I've never heard of.
Yeah, and you're from the Northeast.
That's funny.
On the same vein of matchups, how about specific? Are there any specific players you're looking forward to matching up against? I guess as you're primarily playing D-line, I think, and who are you excited about?
I've been sort of forbidden from talking about this. I can't reveal any specific matchups. But
how maybe should I rephrase the question?
Who do you get excited to play against?
Yeah, or watch or
watch
compete against. Like not necessarily match up against, but are there any specific players? Now I assume like Jack maybe used to be, but now he plays with you. Any players that stand out?
Yeah. I really like playing against players I've played with before, because I feel like I have a good sort of knowledge of what they can do. They know like what I can do, and then we can sort of iterate in that sense. For example, when we play against Truck Stop, I like playing against Jock, because I know he's a very dangerous thrower. I know what specific throws he's excellent as, and I know where he's weaker. And then, it's sort of like we have a relationship on the field where I'm trying to push him to those weaker spots, and he's obviously trying to use his strengths. feel the same way
Mhm.
when I guard Quinn sometimes when we play Bravo. You're a little bit more sort of balanced and all-arounder than somebody like Jacques, but it's still interesting. And also, like, I feel like, Quinn, I've played against you for several years, and I've seen your game evolve. And so it's like I'll guard you one year and do something well and something poorly, and then come back the next year and you've like added a new tool. So sort of, an evolving on the field relationship.
I appreciate that. I like that. It's kind of funny. This just like it sparked something in my head. I feel like you don't match up with me as much PoNY versus Bravo, but when we played Empire, you were on me the entire game. Is that was that a coaching thing, or is
That's
it
top secret, dude. That's
I
top-
guess maybe
it's
that's top secret,
Could
but
try to pry him open.
I'll say it right now. I'm glad that you don't match up with me on the club field, because every time it happens, you just fucking clamp me in the backfield, and it sucks. So
Get downfield, then, Quinn.
as soon
What
as
are
I
you
see
doing
JR
back
on
there?
me, yeah, if JR's on me, I cannot be in the
Get him
backfield. I'll
out.
just say that right now.
Get him out. That's funny. All right. How about a little like prediction segment? First day of nationals, I feel like shit always kind of goes awry, or like not necessarily, but there's always usually one thing that you're like, what the fuck? They lost to who? Like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Do you have any like upset alerts? Something like just any wild prediction going into nationals that if you think might happen, might be that thing?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me see. I have the pools up right now. I actually think in our pool, Vault is gonna do well. I mean, hopefully we'll
It's
win the
mine.
pool, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Vault come in second. They're good.
That's a good one. I was
Yeah.
looking at them earlier, and I agree. I think
That is mine. I'm glad we avoided Vault as our 4 seed. No offense, Darkstar.
Oh, Quinn, you just cursed us.
That's all right.
Why would you say that?
That's
I
all right.
think another one. I have one. I think a 3 seed could win the pool. I think also. I think
Slam,
Rhino.
Slam.
I think
Slam,
Rhino.
slam.
Yep. I think Rhino
Yeah.
could come. They got Dig and
Revolve.
a revolver. I could see Rhino winning that pool. You just never know what you're gonna get with them. But if they're clicking, they get like a little momentum early in the day. They could easily go and win that pool.
Yeah, I see that.
There you go.
Sweet. And then going back to like team focused stuff. Curious about what like your team's goals are. What a successful weekend would look like for y'all. Obviously, winning is probably the number one goal, but there's always a mix of like winning and other things that make a successful weekend for a team. So I'm curious what that looks like for y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I think winning is the number one thing. I think another thing we're focused on this year, even more than past years, is like we have a lot of star players at the top, but we also have like a pretty deep roster, I think. And to go deep in the bracket, I feel like there are two different paths. Either like things don't go exactly how we want them to go, and we like really have to tighten up and stuff. And the other way is like we play everyone, especially on D line. We were able to cycle through. Like we try and do sort of the old revolver thing where it's like everyone plays, everyone's effective. We grind down our opponents, and I think like the most successful we could have would involve like playing everyone. Everyone feels like they made an impact.
How about your personal mindset? How are you? Do you have a specific way that you like to prep for tournaments, especially nationals? And do you have any traditions or superstitions, maybe?
I don't really have any traditions or superstitions, I think. I mean, mentally, I just get like pretty nervous and like anxious and jittery like in the few days before, especially, not working out as much, not doing as much, just like I want to play.
Tapering, yeah.
So mostly I try and focus on non-tournament things and just like distract myself with like work or whatever and hanging out with the guys.
And you've been in semis or finals of college and club since what, 2019? Is that right? Have you ever not made a semis since 2019 in college and club?
I don't think. I
I
think that's right.
I know in club I've
Brown,
always been
sockeye.
Brown
Yeah.
my freshman year, which was
Jesus.
2018. We lost in quarters.
Oh,
So since
freshman year.
2019.
And what about the fall? The fall you made. Oh yeah, the fall you made
Semis.
semis. The fall you had them semis to UNC. Yeah, so every year after your
Jesus
sophomore.
Christ, man.
Yeah, but then
Whatever your
That's a
personal
streak.
prep is.
You
seems
You
to
gotta
be
hit the
working.
ultimate
Yeah.
reference. Is that
Yeah.
a what kind of streaks do anybody else have there? That's
Dude.
crazy. All right, well, going off that, this is a perfect segue to if there's any players who are, especially young players, looking to go to nationals who haven't quite made the jump yet. Do you have any advice you would give them?
I feel like every time I look back on like a level I played, like elementary, middle school, high school, YCC, college, club, ADL, it's like the number one thing to get better is just like playing as much as you can, especially in I think like small sided situations where you get more touches. Like if you play 3v3, you're gonna get twice as many touches, 3 times as many touches as if you play 7-on-7. I feel like that's the number one thing has been for my development, and like most people I've seen who've gotten really good, it's just like play as much as you can, play small sided, even like 2v2 is awesome. And like when you play, always try as hard as you can and try and win.
I like that part too, because we'd had the play of
Yeah.
as much as you can. I like the little added part you put at the end, which is play as hard as you can and try to win. I think that's a good little touch to that.
Actually, yeah, we always struggle with the balance sometimes of adding the competition versus just getting the reps,
Mm-hmm.
and then even today we had practice and ending games. We had timed games, and Kins, I think I kept hearing you say universe. And so
I was actually gonna ask, do you keep the score, John? If you're playing like mini at practice, are you keeping score?
Oh, of course, man.
Is there ever a mini point where you're not keeping score? Like or a mini game? Sorry, is there ever like you guys play mini and you're not keeping score? You personally?
Pretty much no. A couple weeks ago we played mini just like nonstop with hockey subs, like infinitely long games. So I didn't track it that time, but I think we always have a win-loss condition.
Nice.
Kind of going off that, but more of a personal question. I'm curious what it has been like for you, because I swear you've been on like the map of like frisbee since you were in middle school. Like, I'm just curious what that's like, and maybe just kind of how you handled it and how you view it. I'm really curious about that.
You mean like having sort of external eyes on me, like watching my
Yeah, just that attention, and I don't know. I feel like when people talk to me externally, like it's probably only recently started happening mostly, and it gets in my head a little bit. I don't know. So I'm just curious, like what it was like for you when you were younger, and then versus now and all that.
Yeah, it's definitely easy for it to get in your head, especially
Yeah.
like an multi-world article or something. A lot of times written, if it's a high school article, it's like the one game they watched and maybe they saw you make one play and then it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like either I got used to it or just like didn't matter as much to me as like the people I'm actually competing with and against. I don't know. I feel like it's not a major factor.
Yeah.
Have you found true love?
No. Trying hardest, but true love has eluded me so far.
So did it not work out with the girl that you were partnered with on the updating show, like the one that was on stage with you? Did you guys not hit
Correct.
it off?
Under the bright lights, I was like, "God, this is it. I did a true love." And then we went on like one date after that, and it was like, not
That is not. There wasn't that. There weren't those fireworks. No firework mode.
But you ended up going on a date with the other girl that tried to steal you. Is that what happened at the end, or did you go on a date with the girl that was
Both of them?
So Both
No,
of
no.
them. That's
Oh,
funny.
just the girl at the end, not the one at the beginning.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So
Um,
that's a good format for a dating show. You can just kind of pop up out of wherever. Adds a little excitement to the.
can you give us a 30-second pitch? Maybe plug this updating show. How did the PoNY folks get into it? Was this happenstance?
Oh yeah. Yes, happenstance.
We-
We went to a show. Me, Jeff Holmes, Saul Rushmeyer, Bailey Vinay, a couple other people, and well, there's a good clip out there. I can send you. But basically,
yeah, of
you
Jeff.
saw Jeff gets pulled up at the end, and the girl's like, "You're so hot," and Jeff is like, "No."
Yeah, it's so funny.
And then the hosts are like, "Jeff, man, you got to come on next show." And then Jeff went on, and they're like, "You should come on too." And I was like, "Okay, I'll come on." And I think hopefully we'll get more PoNY guys on it. If you guys come to New York, we'll get you.
Ooh, Quinn's married.
I'll still come on.
This will be like the new next year's PoNY roster reveal. Is like all
That's
segments
good.
from.
That's a good point. I
updating.
gotta ask, what the hell happened with that roster reveal this year? It was so sick. What was that?
That's all Harper Garvey.
It's Harper.
Yeah.
Interesting. I assumed it was. I assumed it was Marquez.
No,
Wow.
Harper.
Interesting. Harper. Yeah. What's the story on that?
He saw some TikTok video of these like dancing Egyptian guys in those costumes, I guess, and just like reached out, had like a long exchange with them. They only speak whatever you speak in Egypt, I don't know, and Harper only speaks English, and then eventually like commissioned them to make the video, and made it.
That's so funny.
That's ridiculous. That's awesome.
I saw it and I went on their TikTok and I was just in a rabbit hole of their TikTok and it's so weird and I love it. It was hilarious. Awesome. Yeah.
That's really funny. My one personal question is, what is it like at practices this year for PoNY? I feel like, it's obvious, like it's such a talented squad. Like, what are they like? Just what have been your thoughts on them?
They've been it's interesting. Some practices the O will crush the D line. Some practices the D will crush the O line. And pretty much everything we do is like scrimmaging against each other, like 5-pole scrimmaging, some different variants. But there's a lot of shit talking going on. We have a lot of recurring shit talk. Like every time we crush the O line, if Jack Williams is not there, we're like, "Where's Jack? You need Jack." Just screaming shit like that. Yeah, it's a good time.
I love it.
Yeah, you guys have Isaac, Saul, and Evan Padgett, two guys I feel like that are the ultimate trash talkers.
Yeah, they do. Isaac does this thing. Isaac is an assistant coach now, and he'll just like as the O line is setting up on the line, just like walk down next to them and take 2 discs and chant defense. And then he's just like super annoying. He'll do it every point for a whole practice. And,
That's what
he's got. Good reps.
He's got like the only shit talk that's ever stuck with me. Like the only shit talk that's ever stuck with me is from Isaac Saul, and it was recently, and it wasn't even directed at me. And it's still, I still think about it. It's when we were playing you guys at US Open, and you guys were just slaughtering us, just absolutely slaughtering us. And he's on the sideline, just screaming, and I'm next to him. I'm on the sideline too. I'm not even on the field, and he's just screaming onto the field. They're stuck in a box, or they're stuck in a room with no windows and no doors, and we threw away the key. And he's just yelling that, and I'm just like, my head's exploding, and we're down like 5 points, and you guys are laying out D'ing us left and right. And I'm just, it's like, it's been in my head ever since. And like, that's the only time shit talk has ever stuck with me. Wow. It's awful.
Yeah.
He's
the
got
yeah.
He's the master. He is of mind games. Quinn, okay, you're up. Shall we move on?
Yeah. To the finer. You got a finer things for us? Have you worked one out?
You got to introduce the segment first.
I'll
Quinn.
introduce it. I just
Okay.
don't want to. I just don't want to jump him without
yeah,
him
yeah,
having
yeah.
one. Do you guys? Well, I'll introduce it. All right, so we're on to finer things. Presented by Kiko Socks. Experience a finer moment with a fresh pair of Kiko socks. Here, Mike, you got one? Kins, you got one to start?
I did not have one. I may come up with one while
We've been
people
doing
go, but
too many of these.
We're doing too many.
Why did I use 2 yesterday? That's the
Yeah,
real
why did I
question.
also
What the
use 2?
fuck? I'm so excited to have my finer things.
Quinn, do you have one?
No, dude. We've been doing so many.
JR, we put you on the spot
Yeah,
here.
JR,
JR,
gotta
you
a
have
good
to
one,
save the segment, man.
Okay, this was recommended
go.
to me by Breton Tan, teammate on Empire, is this like weighted blanket. It's made out of bamboo, so it's cooling. That's my finer thing.
Whoa.
Oh, it's cooling.
And do you sleep with this thing?
Yeah, I sleep it. If you never slept with a weighted blanket, it's like it's so calming. It's like if you ever get anxious at night or something,
Yeah.
it just like soothes you.
Yeah, I've heard that.
What's it called?
So it's
know.
made of bamboo, but it's like there's still like cloth, like it's really soft.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like a normal cloth. The bamboo just means it's like breathable because normally weighted blankets are like super thick and like gonna make you sweat.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Very
a good one.
cool.
I kind of want one now. That's a good one.
I need to try the weighted blanket experience. Actually, I always get claustrophobic in bed. Like I have to untuck the sheets and
So, JR, your sleeping regimen is nuts, dude. I've heard about the nose strips and the mouth tape and the eye cover. Now you got to wait. You got like a 10-item sleeping regimen, huh?
Yeah, but it works, and a lot of guys
Yeah,
on
whatever works.
similar crazy regimens.
Is it
Number 1.
Is it a
dude.
New
Sleep's
York
number
thing?
1.
Is it like just loud in the city?
Yeah, maybe the New York, noise, makes
Interesting.
fun of it. But I think it's mostly just a pony thing.
Interesting. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts for JR before we let him go?
I got nothing unless he's got any questions or anything for us at the final hour.
I don't think so.
No.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, thanks so much for coming on, especially short notice here. And you're traveling out tomorrow. Is that right?
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Travel safe. We'll see you out there in San Diego in a few days, and best of luck.
Cool. Thanks for having me on.